Hey everybody, this is EternallyPrussian, and I was actually discussing with my friends recently some Imperishable Night and bullet hell related stuff, and one of my friends is just recently getting into it, so I figured what I would do between all of that is just upload an intermediate video of a replay I have where I finally just beast moded it and beat the entire game in one go. I've had the ability to do this, I just always seem to... No, bad. I've just always seemed to fail, like at stage 4, stage 5, which is actually are both very difficult stages, so it's no surprise. And I'd always get to Kaguya and just kind of give up, but as you can tell by the replay name, I did it. This is going to be me giving some advice on how to beat the game, because I've seen so many people do it on Expert, not Expert, what am I thinking? Sorry. I've seen so many people do it on Lunatic, and people like us, some people play normal mode and they want to get advice on how to beat the game on normal. So this is going to be me pretty much commentating over one of the replays I have, and there will be screw-ups along the way, but I did it all. So let's see what we got here. So I had this hope in mind of trying to be a little more impressive than usual, so that means I die more than usual. I mean, this stage 1 is pretty basic, and sometimes I won't be blabbering my mouth off. So basically this is simple. Those two big fairies right there provide you with 10-point items, which are, as you can imagine, pretty important. I'm using Reimu and Yukari, as you could tell by the Reimu and Yuk abbreviation right there, which is pretty weird. But I love Reimu and Yukari, always have. She's my favorite Shrine Maiden, and Yukari's my favorite Gap Hag. Not that there are many Gap Hags out there, but no, I'm just kidding. I don't like her as a character. I've watched the Manzais, and I know the Manzais aren't canon, but she's a bitch. Regardless, this is pretty easy for her non-spell. It's just basically move in that giant space and go to very easy sideway patterns. I do almost the first 3 levels unfocused because the patterns are very easy to dodge. I also do this on hard with Marisa and Alice, so Reimu is not much of an issue, but I haven't played as Reimu for a while, so my giving a go at this was difficult the first time. I just sped through the dialogue because I don't like it. First non-spell is, again, not too difficult. It's just looking for those giant gaps, and sometimes the crossing over can be difficult. You see how I killed those orbs early? Those are the ones for a bunch of little things that like to seek you out, which is... Actually, this game seems to give you an advantage for shooting those orbs down. First spell, sorry, you can see that those little orbs will shoot out the straight line blue bullets that will just basically zoom in on where you are, meaning you'll have to stream if you want to get out of that one alive. Just so you know, before the boss fight, the max amount of items you can collect is 108, so having 80 or 90 is still pretty good. The little orbs you see me instantly shooting down there, you see I let one live right there to show you what it does. It's annoying, so like I said, non-focus, it doesn't take too long, and it gets rid of all the annoying stuff. Her second spell is her last one. It's about dodging very slow-moving, scissor-ish patterns. On hard mode, they become actual scissor patterns. And scissor patterns are actually my weakness, so the one thing my brain doesn't work with, but I've just done this in Ayasho. Oh, yeah. There's just me embarrassing myself with that pattern. But Hermit of an Endless Night, yeah, extra spells I don't fuck around with. I just go focus mode. I don't even bother. Again, this is just a giant scissor pattern, and I don't remember if I fail this or not, but I hate these. I can't do them very well. Oh, I did it! That's good news. Stage 2 with the friggin' Night Sparrow. This is, again, not a difficult stage. But this music is fairly nice. I mean, Zen puts a lot of love into his homing amulets Reimu, making everything ridiculously easy. Let's play bullet hell. You stand in place and then watch items fall on you. It's pretty much how Reimu works in this stage, because they're supposed to come out of nowhere, but only as Marisa is really a worry, because Yomu shot hits, or Ryuko shot hits everything. Those fairies right there, I focus mode them because to try and just beast mode it outside of focus, you have to deal with those flying orb things, and they are annoying as hell and actually take a lot of hits. Plus it spreads unnecessary amounts of bullets into the screen. So on hard mode, as you can imagine, it gets even worse. Those orbs are pretty easy to take down. You pretty much take down the orb, and in the crossfire you take down the fairy as well. So it's not that difficult to deal with them. Again, this is not too hard of a stage. But yeah, I got a focus mode on there. Because, again, I was thinking I could be impressive, and yeah, and it didn't do that so well. But all this is going to be essentially homing in, and that's pretty much taking care of everything for you. Not too much to say about this other than it's pretty easy, and the boss and the sub-boss comes after the sub-boss. Yeah. First non-spell, the giant holes in there, just don't panic. And taking out this little orb thing just pretty much continued that blue line down. It's not too difficult. Hooting in the night is worth things for me. I have a really good capture history, but for the first couple times I really struggled because, again, the scissor patterns, but thankfully the scissor patterns are so light I didn't have to worry too much once I got the hang of it, and I pretty much hung out at the bottom of the screen and didn't have to worry about much. Blah blah blah, talking to fried chicken. And again, just follow the big gaps here. I mean, you see you can easily move through them. Again, it just makes the movement space tighter, I guess, because the orbs are bigger, and then they fold in, which can be a spot of trouble if you're not placed right. But placement is actually fairly easy, and you see I only move slightly. Yeah, right there, that could have been trouble. Alright, Svingahids, whatever the hell it is, wing beats. With characters like Marisa, with her very quick, jutty movement, you can actually sort of jut your way out of it. Yeah, you see me kind of panicking here a little bit, trying to move among the pieces, which can get a little bit difficult if you're not Marisa, but it is fun to note that your hitbox is actually smaller when you're out of focus mode, but you move more rapidly, so that's kind of a trade. Knocking off those orbs in this non-spell is wicked helpful, and it just prevents your screen from clustering. See those, how I'm knocking those off? Those will reduce your bullet count on the screen by at least a third. Alright, this is Hawksign, or second spell, where vision starts getting a little bit weird. Don't worry, you are still hitting her, as you can hear by the little kadink sounds of getting the timepieces. The point is just not to panic on this one, because you can move through this pretty easily, just seeing those little gaps you can move through. But this spell, Night Blindness, this is where things get tricky for the first couple times. My capture history is not so great on this, but that's because I always panicked early when I dealt with this card, but moving through here without focus mode actually does take a fair amount of practice, but with focus mode, it's just about fitting through those little gaps you see me just jumping through. And here we have her extra spell, is Midnight Chorus Master. I don't fuck around again. I go focus mode. I think I fail this one because there's just so much crap flying around on the screen, and believe me, these are narrow fits. Like, there, you think I would have died, but I know my hitbox fell off. Oh, I made it. I thought I failed one of these. Stage 3. I like this stage, and the BGM is actually really nice. I just listen to this and I'm like, whoa, something's wrong here. Like, it gives off the feeling of an actual incident, like something disappearing. These fairies, you just knock them out pretty quickly. They'll spray little orbs, but don't worry about them. In hard mode and such, if you don't take them out very quickly, and sometimes even if you do, and you don't prioritize, you multiply the amount of bullets you see by 2 or 3 times, and that's what it looks like. Your first time doing this, you're not going to know where they come in, so you're going to be dealing with quite a few clusters of bullets. Same thing as Stage 2 with those fairies who shoot the orbs repeatedly. They take way too many hits, and they are just a pain. They're not worth unfocusing for the amount of trouble they give you. Kiane's mini-boss non-spell. I was actually surprised when I first attempted this as a non-focus that you can that those orbs get knocked out pretty quickly, and then after that it's just a game of scissor pattern. which again is my worst, and you know, the frame rate just drops out of nowhere. But yeah, there's a lot of bullets on screen right now. And Spiritual Birth First Pyramid, I normally do this one on hard mode, and it's because I focus, but if you non-focus, or even if you focus, notice how I'm misdirecting it by, see where I stand right there when it shoots? That's when it will focus on you, and that's when you can just move out of the way, and if you're a Marisa type, all you have to do is just stand in front of her after that. Those blue bullets can get quite congealed. You don't want that, which turns into a bomb if you're at full lives, but those blue bullets can make it quite congealed and messed up sometimes. But here it's just moving left to right on these fairies, and, you know, I try to non-focus mode this, but it's just not worth it. Especially with the trouble it gives you. Now these fairies, you definitely want to focus mode, because they give you bombs. Well, they give you one bomb, but still. Oh, they're Hataku, don't care. Oh, alright, now you see those 6 orbs you saw spawn at the beginning? Those can actually be taken out as you just saw, but you still have to do a lot of careful dodging when you do it, because the bullets just keep multiplying, and I do actually fail one of these 2 patterns because the bullet spread is just incredible. Ephemerality 137 is not my greatest capture history again, but I usually do this focus just because it's easier to fit in the little patterns, and as you can see they're just spawning rapidly, so you mind your reds and your blues because all they do is come diagonally, and I capture that. Ambition Sign, Masakato Crisis, as you can see here, at first I think I'm going to do it, and it takes way too long to knock out those center orbs with far too little reward for it. So I just focus mode it and duck in between these tiny little holes you see right here, and just move around these slight scissor patterns, and I capture it. This non-spell is where I start failing, because there's just way more of them, and you basically have to stick at the bottom of the screen. I panic bomb there, because I didn't think I was going to make that, but I know I did, and now I just focus mode. Also, that was to show off a little glitch where you saw her have no bullet spawns, just so you know that. Three Sacred Treasures orb is basically about going in between the giant, like, gimme that ass orbs, and then squeezing in between that scissor pattern, which I fail at miserably and do not capture the card. Oops. Unending Sign, Phantasmal Emperor. I don't even bother to non-focus this. This one I always focus because of this wicked tight squeeze in the beginning. I hate to say it, but the only way to get that wicked tight squeeze is to memorize it. Just know your placement. And other than that, trust your hitbox. Here we get something that I've only seen one other time, and that was Future God's Realm. I had no idea what to do because I'd forgotten about this spell card, so basically all you have to do is just beware of the lasers and trust your hitbox, because if you just move slightly out of the lasers, you'll be fine. Actually, I think one of the easiest extra spells. Alright, here we are at stage 4. This is where things used to kind of screw themselves over for me, because Marisa is a pretty terrible, painful boss to face. This is when my focus mode really starts kicking in, but, you know, I kind of unfocus this because I'm being a bit of a show-off. Because these fairies, again, destroying their orbs is usually not worth the time it takes, but you can do it. I've done it before, and it's been okay. It's just that focusing for me is not really worth it. So here we go with 2 more of them. The bullets can start getting a bit clustery on other modes, but on normal, it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, there is a little bit of memorization involved, but you can still do the stage fairly well if you don't know it. Again, it's not, like, bone-crushingly bad. And then you get to these ones where, like I said, you see me taking out the orbs, and it's just not worth the amount of cluster it fills your screen up with. Now, for this one, you definitely should focus mode it because you can stream it all towards you and then move, but I decided to do some fancy handiwork here and, really move around. I missed a bomb, but whatever, it was still impressive to look at. Alright, dialogue with Marisa. I still don't care. At this point, I don't even try to non-focus. I mean, I'm just here to focus and get shit done. Now, I know you can disable the amount of stars being clustered at you, but I find it easier to dodge all of them because you see that nice big opening. Then after that, it's a matter of dodging diagonal stars. That's it. They don't overlap too much. Magic Sign Milky Way, I have a shit capture rate on this card. Mostly because you can see there's a little bit coming from the top, and if you unfocus, there's more, but you basically have to dodge side to side to up to down, because you have to dodge the big stars and look out for the little ones. I successfully capture it through some divine miracle. Now, this non-spell is not too difficult if you trust your hitbox, because you just have to know you can squeeze in between those little spaces, and I eat a bullet right there. I literally just walked into that. Magic Sign, Stardust Reverie, this is another one with a terrible capture history because it is actually, I find this to be pretty difficult. Don't get intimidated by those. Look at the center where you see it start to curl in. Move around the curl, I panic bomb there. Move around the curl you see, and once you move out of where it starts to spiral in, you can get it out. Now that was technically her mini-boss stage, and they send more fairies after you on your way to the mansion. Now, again, I should be focus moding that, yep, and then I non-focus for a second. And then, I believe, yep, I eat that bullet too. Part of this fucking balanced breakfast right here. Oh, I should have saved that joke for the Kaguya fight, but whatever, I'll say it again. I don't care. So, you get those extra bombs, move carefully around those, you should focus mode that. And we get Marisa back here again. Now, this one starts out a little bit clustery, but is actually not too bad. She leaves a fair amount of room for it being open, but then things start to really cluster up towards the end of the card. Even still, now we get non-directional laser. Again, crap capture history. But looking at this now, it is actually still pretty difficult. I mean, you have to move around the giant stars, keep in mind the lasers, and then move around those stars, and I proceed to walk into a bullet. But, you know, that's how things go. Now, this one is surprisingly not too difficult. It's just a matter of, can you find the opening in that massive bullet cluster? Most of the time, you'll do okay and get, you know, sometimes even if you have to squeeze like that, you'll get a small opening, but most of the time you can find those. Love Sign Master Spark. The first Master Spark is set. You cannot misdirect it. So you have to ignore the stars, and normally, panic bomb. Normally the idea, that's why I've never captured this, I always panic bomb. The idea is that you're not supposed to go under Marisa like I'm doing right here, you're supposed to go basically around her. So if you don't use your homing amulets, you're kinda screwed. That's a glitch. Alright, Light Earth Ray, 0 capture rate, also because I tend to panic bomb a lot here, not that I can be blamed. You'll get a little preview as to where they're going, but panic bomb. You'll see that she'll stream it straight at you, so if you can try and misdirect those while the lasers are down, go for it, but I walk into that, and I just kind of take the hit. So, now we move on to Stage 5, which is where the game realistically tries to kill you. And none of that was trying to kill you, by the way, that was just normal stuff. But I am convinced the stage is out for blood. So, that first fairy is not too difficult as long as you focus mode it, because if you don't focus mode, it's just going to be barraging the orb, and filling your screen. I do a lot of focusing here because it's easier to swipe the fairies. Like these ones, you'll just learn left, right, left, whatever the pattern need be. Because basically, if you just focus mode and slowly scoot over to the fairies, you'll find that the bullets will die down pretty quickly, and you only have a little bit to dodge. See, when you get to big spreads like this, that's when you start dealing with more. But this stage is actually pretty quick moving. That's what I like about it. See, I focus mode here, and I reduce the clutter, but you'll find that even when you do focus mode, there will be a lot of clutter. After all, this is still Stage 5. Again, I personally don't think it's worth it to non-focus mode, especially when it comes to these big bullet fairies. You just fire them everywhere. it's not worth it to unfocus. And yeah, you see me fitting in through a couple gaps. Touhou and Nibba, I hate her. It's all scissor pattern, and I can't do scissor patterns for crap. I mean, you see me now actually pulling them off, but like I said, this is me really going at it, beast moding it to pull it off, because I don't want to make all this for nothing. So here, I actually failed at the very last second. These non-spells are just annoying. If you can do scissor patterns, you have no problem. Yeah, I take it at the end. If you get an extra roll for it, though. If you can do scissor patterns, that won't be a problem for you. I can't do them. So there's no way I was going to be able to manage that. So more left-right business. Again, keep focused. It kind of gets rid of the bullets quicker. Now, after this, we should be dealing with the more big bullet fairies. Now, these fairies can take some hits. So, you saw right there, I focused on the main one and let the bullets bypass me. I should have actually gone to the right first. So instead of having to deal with this huge cluster, and by that point there was already too many on the screen, then you deal with those again. They're taken out quickly, but they spawn bullets quickly as well. So, 2 extra bombs, dealing with Racing Udongin and Nibba, who is one of my favorite names in the game because it's friggin' stupid. Also, Udongin is similar to a suppository. But anyway, this stage also results in a lot of deaths, and you'll see that pretty plainly. Do not panic on this part. All you have to do is just simply trust your hitbox and learn how to move slightly left and right. I'm focusing a little too heavily on getting her, which is why that non-spell. Oh, Mind Shaker. These, I have crap capture rates on them, as you can see. The thing is, you see that little gap opening right there? If you can deal with a scissor pattern, I cannot. If you can, you can snip right in there. Here's another one where it's important not to panic because there are a lot of bullets. You should spend your time watching the bottom of the screen. I ate that bullet like a fucking quesadilla, so I have no excuse for that. But basically, if you just keep an eye on what's around you, you should be fine. This one I have no capture rate on because these bullets count until they don't, and if you don't place yourself right, you are guaranteed death. And I make some pretty unwise decisions in my placement right here. I need to paint me up. I always end up death bombing it. Okay, doing what I just did right there is a terrible idea because then it makes the spread all over the place. These are shotgun style sprays, so the important thing again is do not panic as some of them will be aimed at you, but some of them are not. Alright, low famous sign, Island Wave. The secret to this, which I myself, is see once you go there, pick a side, and then go up, but don't eat a bullet like I did. And that should essentially, that was a waste of a bomb. That should essentially allow you to get out of there alive, because, you know, or I could just eat another bullet. Boy, I must have been hungry today, because I've eaten 12 of them. But anyway, Spread Sun, Invisible Full Moon, again I have a crap capture history on, but this is memorization. Alright, you see what the pattern is before it disappears after a couple seconds? Memorize what's coming at you, because it's the only way you're going to survive this card. I didn't figure this out until much later into my runs, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to have to memorize what's going on. And that was difficult, but I captured it this time. Alright. Follow Your Eyes will give you ending A with Erin, Yagokoro, and Follow Your Intuition, which is all. Ending B will always give you Kaguya. So here we are at ending B. These fairies will destroy the screen with bullets. And the careful part is you see those little clusters at the end there? You will get caught by those if you don't know what you're doing. 5 impossible requests. They aren't exactly impossible, but they sure as shit aren't easy. Alright, the secret to this is just moving in between the bullets and knocking them out. You get a crap ton of extra points from this. So you see those 3 rabbits that spawn? Pick a good one. Yeah, eat the bullet too. You know, that's a good idea. And once you get one of the rabbits, shift over in the area because it will decrease the projectile count, making it easier for you to move. Sometimes they'll spawn nice and close like that, which is very convenient. But you get 3 waves of this, I believe, in the other extra, sorry, the other ending you get 4 waves, which is more points. But adding, here's her first non-spell. I fudged this up so badly. The point is you're supposed to not fall victim to her, which I do, not fall victim to her scissor pattern, and the blue bullets will seek you out, but you just stream those pretty easily. Medicine Sign, Galaxy in a Pot, watch those because they will be your indicators. Now, dodge the white bullets, but again, where that's around, you want to not eat a bullet, and get in that circle. That's how you get past that spell card. You'll get a bomb from her, and hopefully max power. And then we meet the lunatic princess herself, Kaguya. And I don't really give a shit about the dialogue, but basically you say we're going to kick your ass. So, here we go. Some of these spell cards, I don't know, man, I'm not gonna lie. But this non-spell is just basically about dodging and not getting hit by her streams, which will often overlap, but you will get a small break if you misdirect it. I usually outlast it though, so don't worry about that. Impossible Request Dragon's Necklace, I actually have beaten this as a clear, but not on this character. I panic bombed there. You're supposed to fit in between the long laser bullets and not get hit by the little ones, which I know how to do, but I fail at miserably. Right there, I'm not gonna lie. I always focus mode for this because you can't really get to her if you don't. This spell card is essentially about dodging what comes to the side and then what comes down, which can create some very tight and uncomfortable clusters, as you saw right there, making it difficult to do anything. And I always end up death bombing there, just because it's so difficult to do that. Buddha Stone Bowl is not that hard. All you have to do is you can skirt the laser if you want. The lasers are pretty generous with what they'll allow you to do, and just fit between the falling stars. Normally, if you don't trap yourself in a huge laser cluster, you'll be fine, and you have to really trust your hitbox again. So, Madi's, and I just eat that bullet. Madi's hitboxes may, and Sakuya hitboxes especially, may not like this. But this non-spell is essentially dodge the clusterfuck. If you can dodge that and move around in it, you'll be okay. This one comes down to mostly luck and dodging skill. I fantasy orbit, which is a bad idea because I always want to save that for death bombs, but I don't know. Alright, Fire Rat's Row. It starts off for the first two waves really easy because if you stay at the end, they split off into two, and then the lasers start coming down. Stream those. There's a way to stream it where if you go in the middle of them, you can duck out of the pattern quickly, but I would normally show it off and be like, this is how you do it, but I kind of sucked it up on that one. This non-spell, all you have to do is learn that up top has a very, very easy set pattern. You get one Sonnet, you get one in the gap. You get one Sonnet, and you get one in the gap. Then you watch your bottom. You watch the bottom very carefully, because it's so easy to get ran over by one of these very slow random moving bullets. Swallow's Cowrie Shell. I cannot tell you how much frustration this one has caused me, because look at that crossing pattern and the very tight laser space they give you. The lasers are fairly generous on your hitbox, meaning that you can actually skirt uncomfortably close to them, but it's about dodging those stars. And now for her last spell, which I don't have a capture on, which isn't surprising, is Rainbow Danmaku. Which is funny, because wouldn't that make 6 impossible requests? But anyway, basically you jump out of that pattern real quick, you cannot unfocus this. It's the same with all final boss spells. You basically have to deal with some streaming here where you lead them up towards you, and then in between another stream, on those last remaining bullets right there, you see how I move in and out of it? And I move down too much and eat a bullet for breakfast. Hey everybody, EternallyPrussian here. I'm sorry about the cutoff at the very end of that last segment. However, when I would try and record beyond that point in the spell card, the file would become corrupted and thusly ruin basically the entire save when I would try and upload it, and it froze my computer every time, no matter how many separate times I recorded it. So what that means is essentially this is going to be your last second commentary. There was nothing more I really needed to say about her last spell. It was streaming from that point on and moving in between the Y-shaped pattern, And then there were her spells after that, and I didn't make it much past the first or second one because I'm terrible with survival cards, and I still am. So I wouldn't have been able to give much advice anyway. I will be uploading the editing ending as a separate thing, and hopefully I won't eat many bullets like I did in that last replay. Oops. If you want to see me tackle it with another group like Alice and Marissa, I can do that. It's just that I don't know if I'll be able to beast mode it like I do with Raymond and Yukari, as they are my best group. So if you want to see that, or another normal level Touhou game, or you want to see me do a stage in particular, I can show that off, as I have every Touhou game except for the camera ones with Aya and Hatate. So I will see you later.